In this Masterworks tutorial, I'll be demonstrating how to create a delivery estimate. I have segmented this video as a resource for future reference. Refer to the video index. In this instance, I am interested in creating a delivery estimate for project 5555-55-01. I have gone ahead and used the filter to find that particular project. If the project you are interested in is not in Masterworks, please email wisdot.masterworks@dot.wi.gov and the people manning the inbox will be able to enter that project ID into Masterworks for you. To get into the project, go ahead and select it and click Edit. This action opens up a folder on the left-hand side. Click the plus to expand open the folders, and click the plus again to expand open Scope, Delivery Estimate, and Schedule. Then click the plus on the Scope folder to look at the scope details. Here are the scope details. At the top, you'll find the basic project details information. Scrolling down, we see the county, city, town, village, the indirect cost type, fixed fee, and contract function. To create an estimate, I need an indirect cost type for my consultant. I select Add and select Home Office and Consultant, and I put in a default rate of 150% and click Save. I will also need a field office rate for the consultant. Click Add. Indirect cost type is going to be field office, and that is at 110%. I'll click Save there. And finally, since Masterworks allows an estimate to use WisDOT resources as well, I will click Add, Resource Type of WisDOT, and select an indirect percent of 145% and click Save. I will next add a fixed fee to this project by clicking Add, Consultant Fixed Fee. In this instance, I will select 7.5% and click Save. And finally, I want to add a contract function. I will scroll down, click Add, and select Design Services and click Select. I have now created the basic framework for a delivery estimate. I will click Save on the scope details. To start my delivery estimate, I need to scroll down and find Delivery Estimate. It's near the bottom of the Scope, Delivery Estimate, Schedule folder. I will select that. At this point in time, there are no estimates created. I will go ahead and click New, and then select this first option. I'm creating a brand new estimate. The first thing I'm going to do is create an estimate name. And select a WBS type. The WBS stands for Work Breakdown Structure. In this instance, I will select WisDOT. I go ahead and click Save. And here is that first estimate. Masterworks allows you to add multiple estimates, but only one of them can be marked as current at a time. I want to go ahead and edit this estimate, so I will select the checkbox to the left of the estimate and click Edit. Now at the top, we see the Direct Labor Cost tab, Fixed Fee, Indirect Cost, and Risk. I do want to go to this Direct Labor Cost. I click that tab, and I see the Work Breakdown Structure appear. A shortcut is I can right-click and click on Expand All to see all of the folders and all of the tasks. Right now, this is too much information for my project, and I need to pare it down. But to assist you in understanding why Masterworks did this, we need to go ahead and look at the improvement concept and the complexity of this project. I will duplicate the tab to look at the project initiation details on this project. to create another session of Masterworks. I right-click on the tab, click Duplicate Tab, and I now have two different tabs with the same data at the top. I want to go ahead and look at the project, so I'm going to click on this link here and select Project Details tab. When I scroll down, I see that this is a reconstruct with a medium complexity. That combination of reconstruct and medium complexity results in the work breakdown structure that you see. Back in 2016, a group of WisDOT users, along with our ACEC partners, reviewed the improvement concepts and the complexity and came up with a list of tasks that one might consider on the particular project. That's why the work breakdown structure looks the way it does. More information on that work breakdown structure can be found at the Masterworks website. Going back to the first tab, I want to review those tasks. And I realized that I don't need all of these tasks. I only really have a small handful of tasks that I want to have on this estimate. So I'm going to right-click and collapse all. And I'm going to delete all of the tasks and add in a custom set of tasks that I know belong on this estimate. I selected the three folders and I click Delete. And I click OK. I now have a blank task list, but I do have a cheat sheet on the side of 5 tasks I want to add. In the upper left, I can click on New, Add Multiple. I select the standard task list of WisDOT and click the green Add button. Here are the entire list of tasks in that WBS. I can scroll through to find all of these tasks, but with 703 total tasks, it's going to be much easier for me to filter and find and select them. We'll click the filter, change this is equal to contains. I'm going to grab 887.0, which is my managed scope and schedule, select it, and click select. That added just one task. I have 4 more that I want to add, and I'll be able to add them all with just a couple of clicks. I will click on Add, click on the filter, change it to Contains 743, and click on Filter. This is for my Manage Project stakeholders. I've already got one selected. I'm going to grab another one. I click on the filter and have it contain 778.1 for my drainage design. Click on Filter, and this 778.1 is the one I want. Click on Filter again, and I've got a little bit of erosion control that I want on this estimate, 768.0. Click on Filter, and I can click on this erosion control. And on this last one, I don't know the task number, but I'm going to go ahead and click on the filter, and I'm going to say Contains Railroad, and click on Filter there. And the task that best identifies what I want is this 886.9, Identify Railroad Issues, and I'll click Select. And now all 4 of those have shown up here, as well as the first one that I added, which was this 887. I can click Save now, and these tasks will show up on the work breakdown structure. When I right-click Expand All, I see that I've got a more easily manageable list of tasks. However, when I look at this task list and I scroll to the right, I see there are no hours and no dollars assigned to it. To create the estimate, I need to go into each task and add in a resource. Let me first go to this 886.9. It is at this white level, which looks like a little piece of paper here, where tasks have hours and dollars added to them. So I'll click here and click Edit. If I have specific details about this task, I can always update the task information here and update the description. The complexity, that comes from that project initiation details from before. This was a medium complexity project, but if you really wanted to change this to low to high, you may do so. We've got additional information here that you can add in if it's appropriate. But what I really need to do is add the resource. Scroll down to the bottom. I will click this Add button. And I'm looking for a utilities engineer. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this filter up here in the upper right and make it contains. And since I'm not sure exactly how this was created in Masterworks, I'm going to search for the word UTIL. And I see that there is a utilities engineer here. I will click select. I also know that I want a utilities project manager. I will click on add and search for it again with this little filter. Mark it as contains and look for UTIL. Click on filter and I will add the project manager. Note I could have added the utilities engineer and this utilities specialist professional at the same time as well. So I could have added all three of these with just that one query. But in this instance, I only need the project manager. I click select. The resource type is a consultant for both of these. I click on this here and I see I have consultant. I can select a local person, a WisDOT person, or a management consultant. In this instance, I am selecting consultant for the project manager and consultant for the utilities engineer. And once I make that selection, you'll see this rate in dollars shows up. And this is fully editable. So for instance, if I wasn't happy with this $36.25 and thought that a better estimate would be with it at $37.50 per hour, I can change that right now to $37.50 and click off of it. One thing that you'll note is this little red triangle in the upper left. That notes changes that I have made. In between the resource type and the rate is indirect cost. I can click on that and I want to have this be a home office rate. So I want to select home office, click there, and I want home office for the utilities engineer as well. The rate level, this comes from this complexity here, and quantity in hours. So I want my utilities project manager to work on this 8 hours. And when I click away from that 8, I see it does the 8 times the 3750 equals 300. My utilities engineer is going to be at the $42.50 per hour, and that person is going to work 16 hours. When I click away, I see that $680 shows up there. So grand total between these two is 24 hours and $980. It's what I want. I will click Save. And click the green back button to go back to the work breakdown structure. And I see that the 24 hours and $980 have made it to this task line. One way to expedite the creation of this delivery estimate is to go through each of the tasks and use a mass association. So at each of the task levels, I will select them all and associate resource type. These 4 tasks all have consultants on them. Click Consultant, click Select. I will click the other 4 again and associate an indirect cost type with them as well. They're selected, associate indirect cost, home office. Click Select. Now finally, I need to go in and add those hours and dollars. This 887.0, I'll select that one Click Edit. For managing project scope, I have the design engineer. I'm going to go ahead and add in 25 hours. And I have my cost here. I'll save it and click back. To manage project stakeholders, I'll select 743.0, click Edit. I have my clerical administration person as a consultant, $35.50 an hour. This job is going to take 25 hours. Select away, and I see that 25 hours at the rate of $35.50 is $887.50. I'll click Save. Click back. My drainage design task, I'll click to the left of 778.1 and click Edit. And my specialist professional here, I am estimating 12 hours on the job. I enter 12 in the quantity hours, click away, and I see the math performs it to $390. I'll click Save. Click the green back to get back to the direct labor cost to work breakdown structure. And finally, erosion control, 768.0, select it, click Edit. My environmental engineer at $46.25 per hour. I'm estimating that this will take 30 hours. And I see my total cost of $1387.50. I click Save. And the green back button. So I quickly filled out all of those tasks, hours, and dollars. Just a note, this is just an example. Use your judgment to best estimate the amount of time and dollars that it takes to do this project. When I scroll to the right, I see a total of 116 hours for $4,801.25. So that's the direct labor cost. Another component to the estimate is the direct cost. I will click on that tab. Right now I have no direct costs, but I want to go ahead and add some vehicle mileage. I'll click Add. Since there are 75 different direct cost types, I'm going to click on this filter to look for vehicle mileage. Select Contains. And I'm going to use the word VEHI and click on Filter. And I see Employee Vehicle Mileage. That's the one I want to select. And click Select. I also have some meals that I want to add to this. Click on Add. Click on the filter, Contains, Meal. Click on Filter. Select that. Click Select. Just a note, you can add more than one direct cost type whenever you go to that Add area. I need to then assign a resource type and a quantity and total expenses for each of these direct cost items. I select Employee Vehicle Mileage and click Edit. The resource type is Consultant. I can put in a description if I'd like to, a unit type. The quantity of miles is 1,000, and they're reimbursed at 58 cents per mile. I put a 0.58 in there. And just a note, if it was, for instance, 58.5, Masterworks does allow you to put that fraction of a penny in there. But in this instance, we'll just leave it at 58. $580 total. I'll click Save. For the meals, I'll select that, click Edit. Resource type is Consultant. I can add in a description if I'd like to. There are 10 meals at 10 per meal. $100 total. Click Save. To save all of the costs entered on the screen, I'll click Save in the upper left. We have now entered data in the Direct Labor Cost tab, the Direct Cost tab, and now we'll look at the Fixed Fee. I click the Fixed Fee tab. The calculation for fixed fee is the total direct labor cost in dollars, which is this $4,801.25, times the fixed fee, which we outlined in the scope details, getting us a total of $360.09, times a multiplication factor of 2.5, which gets us a total fixed fee of $900.23. Looking at the indirect cost, I click on that tab. I have that total direct labor cost again of $4,801.25 times the consultant home office rate of 150%, which gives me an indirect cost of $7,201.88. When I click on the project budget estimate details on the left, I can see a summary of the consultant resource type. The total estimate is $13,583.36. To highlight how you can create multiple estimates, I'm going to click on this delivery estimate link on the left. Now I have one estimate which I just created, and I want to go ahead and create a minor adjustment. I click on the left here and click Copy. It has made an exact copy of this PE1. I can therefore click on the left of PE2, which is the copy, and click Edit, and I'll be able to make some fine-tune adjustments to the estimate. For now, though, I'm going to deselect the estimate number 2. Another thing I can do is grab an estimate from a different project. What if I had another project that was very similar to the one that I'm currently working on? I can simply go ahead and grab that estimate and bring it in over here. I do that by clicking on New, Copy From. I can navigate to any of the project IDs. In this instance, I will select this one and click Select. I have now grabbed an estimate from a different project. I can click on it and hit Edit. I can rename the project estimate name and click Save. Go ahead and select it and edit it and make changes to the direct labor cost and direct cost as I see fit. Now I can go in and change any of these tasks to fit this particular project I am working on. Lastly, I want to mark one of these estimates as the current estimate. I will click on the Delivery Estimate link again. In this instance, I am going to take my estimate number 3 that I just copied from another project and make that my is current estimate. I click to the left of the estimate and click the Mark is current. This is important to mark this as is current because that is the list of tasks that will show up whenever you are doing a solicitation or a non-formal estimate. If you end up changing your mind, you can easily mark another estimate as is current by selecting the new one that you want as is current and marking it as is current. I know there's an awful lot of information that goes into creating a delivery estimate. As always, if you have any questions, please contact the Masterworks inbox.